How do you make your customer feel truly special? There's a way you can do this by automating your business. And I'm Ben from Building Business. I'm here with Jim Aline, and we want to kind of get into some of the secrets of automation today. So I hear people talk all the time about, well, I got to automate my business. And I totally agree, 100%. What does that mean to you? What does it mean to automate your business if you're a contractor?
So
Specifically around marketing.
yeah, specifically around marketing, it's around the communication with the customer.
Yes.
That's more the automation that you can do. There's plenty of great software available to automate a lot of different things: appointment setting, calendar, or emails, text messages, phone calls, people chatting on your website. There's ways to automate the responses to the chats on your website. So automations are used to save time, but to still provide a great experience.
Yeah, I would say save time and enforce process. Because this is where a lot of people miss is like, okay, yeah, we're already doing that. Oh, hold on. Are you sure every person in your company is doing that? Oh yeah, for sure. We're only 4 people right now. We got everything dialed in. What happens when you scale to 10, 20 people? Your process will fall apart. It always does. So you got to have things automated for that.
Yeah. And in that, in the automations is what you're speaking to, is that you can build out the same message.
Yeah.
Like that the communication is the same, whether they're dealing with John or Ben or Joe or Sally or whoever they're dealing with, the communication is the same. And that's an important part of automation. Where automation can turn on you is when when you make it feel like automation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep.
When it's not customized and unique to the specific person, and they're like, oh, that was an automated email.
Yep.
Yeah, I send a lot of automated emails, Ben.
So do I.
A lot.
And I'm always really big on making sure it sounds exactly like the way I talk.
Yeah.
It's very conversational. And one of the things we try to avoid, we're a software company, but we're talking to customers that are a lot of times not super technical.
Yeah.
And so we're always trying to figure out, how do we talk to them in the way they would want to hear it, the way they like to understand it? And also that sounds conversational and real. So less professionalism in it. And that's kind of a weird way to put it, but it's like you can say something one way and it sounds like a robot said it, and you can say it another way. It still sounds like professional, but doesn't sound like you're above them.
Yeah, that's great. And the way you're developing your communication with them is probably more important than the tool you're using to automate it, right? Like you want to make sure that the message is being delivered in a way that's, like we've been talking about, to your perfect customer and speaking to your perfect customer, how they want to be, how they see and hear your company's voice. There's a lot of cool automation out there. And I don't think this is not going away. It's going to probably just become cooler. I like it cool.
I hear over and over, contractors are being asked to do more with less is sort of like the concept. They say they're always too strapped for resources. There's always too many things going on for the number of people there.
Yep.
This is it doesn't matter how big you are. I hear the same type of thing. This is the secret. It's automation. This is how the best companies are doing it right now. They're automating to get that edge instead of just throwing people at it. And they're also having this consistent process because they're automating things.
So let's think about that from a real life example, right? Someone fills out a form on your website.
Yep.
What we do for our clients is we have a system that generates a phone call to the company. They pick up the phone and says, hey, you have a new web form lead from Jim Aline, press 1 to connect. It then calls the number they put in the form, so that if they answer, you're on the phone with them in 20, 30 seconds.
Yep.
If you had to receive the email of that form submission, wait until you had time to call, prioritize when you're calling that person next, and then make that dial. It's time.
Hours more, maybe days.
Sometimes it just doesn't get made. That phone call just doesn't get made. And so Then what we do is if they don't answer, we use further automation. So if they don't answer, you get their voicemail, you leave them a voicemail, but then a couple minutes later, we send them a text message and then an email, and we send them more information and can communicate with them through that process. So now you're using automation to save your CSR or office staff time in managing those leads.
Yep.
Then moving through the sales process, now that person has a booked appointment. Now, reminder emails and text messages that are coming from the sales rep.
Yep. Hey, just reminding you, this is Bob here. We're going to be out on Friday at 10 a.m. Can't wait to see you. If you have any questions, text me back here,
But Bob didn't write the text. No. So it didn't take time out of Bob's day, and Bob didn't have to remember. If Bob had to remember, he'd miss some every now and then, right? So now that's the type of automation. And now speaking to the experience and being communicated with, like we've been talking about on other episodes, man, it creates such a different experience to the homeowner. Now the appointment has been set or has been completed. We know the appointment has been completed. So now we could have follow-ups going out to them around that. Once their job gets scheduled, all of the follow-up communication that goes around that, you can automate not just things like emails and texts, but you can, like we do, create a phone call or at least have a task on the production manager's schedule of when to call the Joneses.
Yep.
Right. And so all of these things, the automation is makes it much simpler and takes time away from the people that are doing the tasks and allows them, and it ensures that they're getting done.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. So I hear a lot of owners, they'll say something like, man, my people aren't doing what I told them. Or they'll say, I'm the only one that knows how to truly estimate well, or the only one that's doing a good job following with customers. And so they actually kind of stay involved in all the small parts of the business and never work on the business because it's true. They're the only one that knows what they're doing. If you automate, now you can take somebody off the street that has the right culture and values and give them a process they can follow, and they do it exactly the way you would.
That's right.
And it sounds like you because you wrote the content.
That's right.
It's killer. It's totally repeatable at that point.
And it's not just with the communication where you're bringing it. It's the systems and processes that you have in your business can be automated in terms of invoicing, ordering. Things can just get generated.
Yep.
Right. There's so much automation. It doesn't just have to be in the communication with the customer.
Yeah. So I guess you say, oh, okay, cool, that's great. How does that make the customer feel special, which is sort of like the whole topic of this conversation? You automate a bunch of stuff. It's good for the business. What does it do for the customer?
It makes them feel like you care because you're communicating on a high level. I think that's the simplest thing.
And that's the number one thing is coming across as you care.
Yep, definitely.
And customers perceive you care if you're over communicating to them.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks so much for joining us. You've got to go to jobnimbus.com/building business now. We've got a bunch of resources there. There's tips and tricks, there's industry insights, and all of it is free. So go and check it out right away. JobNimbus is the best software tool to get you more organized, more efficient, and frankly, to give you your life back so you can have some life balance as you run your business.
For more information about roofer marketers, go to roofermarketers.com and get a copy of our free book, The Best Known Roofer, the omnipresent framework for your roofing company.